You know, I was only 17 when I went on my first USO tour. That was a long time ago. We were just a bunch of kids traveling out of the country for the first time to a far-off place called Alaska. That's right. Alaska had not yet become our 50th state. And over the years, I've had the honor of traveling the world many times over on numerous USO tours. In fact, Bob Hope and I traveled around the world in 8 sleepless days and nights performing for our United States military and their families stationed around the globe. My career in country music has really exceeded my wildest dreams. Certainly one of the most gratifying aspects of my success, though, has been the opportunity to perform and brighten the days of our servicemen and women. Now, I'm a headliner on USO celebrity tours and have the honor of taking my place alongside an impressive list of celebrities dating back over 50 years. Each has given time and talent to provide our U.S. military a much-needed break from the tension and monotony involved in the preservation of freedom. So much has already been written about and said regarding the United Services Organization. I can't really add much. So, instead, through the eyes of a camera, we want to show you a compilation of footage which we've assembled from 3 of my most recent USO tours. We think it speaks for itself. We'll show you the incredible effort that goes into putting on full production shows inside an airplane hangar and a flatbed trailer in the remote jungles. We'll also show you what it's like traveling aboard a military transport plane and, of course, what we did for recreation and sightseeing. It's not all work, you know. We want to show you why every entertainer will tell you that military audiences are the best you'll find anywhere. We've tried to capture the emotional impact a USO tour has on our servicemen and women and on the entertainers themselves. Believe me, a special bond which is steeped in patriotism develops between the audience and the entertainer when both are in a foreign country, away from home, friends, and family. So, come along with us and enjoy some highlights and performance footage from USO tours to Panama, Greenland, Iceland, England, Scotland, and Cuba. We think you'll agree why we call every USO tour a tour to remember. Our first stop on a tour to remember is Panama City, Panama.
There are one, please, and I love it.
Although the country is quite small, the United States has 5 military bases strategically placed throughout Panama. And during a period of 3 days, we performed at all of them. I was given a history lesson by a public affairs officer. Panama gained its independence in 1903, at which time the United States funded the construction of the canal. It was completed in 1914. Many of the buildings were constructed as temporary housing for the workers, but still exist today. Panama is a U.S.-oriented economy. It's uniquely tropical, but there are touches of American influences everywhere. It's only 50 miles across from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic. As you can see, on either side of the canal, the countryside is composed of beautiful untouched beaches, jungles, and volcanoes.
Security and world commerce.
In addition to entertaining, I had the honor of reading a message to our troops from their Commander-in-Chief, the President of the United States.
Every day in the direction of freedom. Your service in Panama carries an additional hardship for you and your families because of the challenges of family separation, relocations on short notice, and travel restrictions. We are especially proud of the professionalism demonstrated by our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, and American civilians in the face of these difficulties.
Like I said, it's not all work. We took time out to play an impromptu game of basketball. That was our recreation. And then on to another base and another show.
God bless the USA.
Our memories of Panama will always be warm. But warm doesn't exactly describe the next destination. Our next stop on a tour to remember, Thule, Greenland. The North Atlantic tour presented some things which we heard about, but we didn't realize that were apparent. The first thing you have to go through is the plane ride. Whether it's a Mac flight or a designated aircraft, that, you know, it's a military plane and no insulation, and you have to get used to the earplugs and the stress it puts on you because it's very noisy, and so you have to learn how to sleep in a noisy situation. We thought it'd be great to augment our North Atlantic tour with some more entertainers. So we invited Miss USA, Gretchen Paul Hemus, Miss Tennessee, Kimberly Payne, and Miss Delaware, Terry Spruill.
There's a little costume for you three to wear.
And boy, did I mean little. And former NBA pro Dave Cowens to join us. Dave started out as a celebrity athlete, and as you'll later see, wound up as the comedian in our troupe of entertainers. Actually, here we are heading for the B-Muse. This is one of the sites that protect the United States. One of the sites to protect the United States, and it's important that we go up and see this so we know exactly what they're doing up here. I'm not sure what it is, but we're going to find out.
Somebody may be able to see on the left side of the bus, there is a tower. The tower is 1,200 feet high.
Well, here we are at the radar installation up on the hill, B-Muse. These folks evidently going to show us some of the things about what we're tracking in the sky. Over 5,000 particles that are moving around, gloves and things like that, pieces of spaceship. all kinds of stuff that comes in. They track all that, and then any incoming threat. We're going to find out just what it is right now. I'll be back in a minute, okay?
This equipment that you see around you is the equipment that steers the beam for us. It came up this way and drove around the other side of this building.
Our primary mission is early warning detection of ICBMs. Right now it's determined that one of those is in fact a ballistic missile. Now it's going to do a discrimination test in terms of where that track is going, i.e. is it going to impact on either Canada or the U.S. I've got the alert. It has just told me where that track is.
So you react as if it was a real threat, period.
That's correct. All I'm interested in is what is the status of my system.
And then they decide.
And then, given all the sensors input all over the world, they will determine whether or not we have a threat.
In 12 minutes.
It was just what I thought it would be. Those guys know what they're doing in here. Kind of look like a Nintendo, but a lot bigger. And they got all kinds of phones and stuff in there, and they probably call it.
Gotta go. We got a basketball game to play.
Okay.
It's snowing.
Okay, it's snowing. I gotta go.
Stop talking.
Yeah, a little bit. We have a different situation now that's developed. We had to expect. We're at what they call a Storm 2. That's above Storm Alert, Storm 1, Storm 2. Obviously, it's more fierce. We're closing everything down at the base. That means the show's in jeopardy, and so is the basketball game. So
No, not the basketball game.
that too. We're gonna
We've been working on cheers for months.
We're gonna have to wait and see. We're on alert. We got to go inside, and that's where they told us to stay. So we'll find out later.
Well, let me ask you, what do you really think about Lee Greenwood?
Well, I know one thing, the guy is basketball crazy.
Yeah?
He loves basketball.
Is he good?
He's pretty average.
Pretty average? Yeah. I mean, if you were taller.
Average, huh?
Oops. You think you could play in the NBA?
He has potential.
Yeah?
And Dave Cowan, 6'9", former NBA Boston Celtics star, is in still pretty good shape. He is an awesome basketball player, and we live and breathe sports in our crew. You have to fit the jersey before you can join the band. Here we are at Thule, Greenland. This may be our greatest contest yet. It's our second game on the tour. We're all fired up. Who won the first game? We did. Everybody break. Let's go. Ready?
We got a two-shot technical foul jewelry on the away team. We need to remove all rings and chains because in the United States Air Force, safety is paramount.
Darn it. Shucks. I hate it when that happens.
Fortunately, the game and the show went off as scheduled in spite of the storm. Dave Cowens led us to victory on the court, and the three-part harmonies of our girl singers were a big hit with the servicemen. Ha ha ha. After our goodbyes, we were off to Keflavik, Iceland, our next stop on a tour to remember. The military base at Keflavik is near Reykjavik, Iceland. It's a town filled with old-world beauty that has seemingly remained untouched by time. That is, until we discovered the Hard Rock Cafe right in the middle of it. A little bit cold down here near the water. This is a very famous place, actually, recent history. Behind us is where Gorbachev and Reagan had their meeting here in Iceland. And as you see, it's kind of just a quaint-looking kind of Cape Cod place. I imagine it gets this cold up there. Pretty isolated, too. It's probably a good place to have it, where they can have some silence, you know, solitude. The display counters on most of the street stores, as we look around, are all primarily the same as what we see back home. Mannequins look just like my sister. Now, here's a music store. I'm going to go in there and find out what my latest Icelandic album, how that's doing. It must be selling big. Got a little of everything in here. Most countries of the world, too. Something interesting, they don't call different formats of music in America in other countries what they are, like country, rhythm and blues, rock, gospel. They just call it American music. I like that. We ought to do that in America. Obviously, they sold all my albums. The basketball game was as exciting as it gets. It was hard fought, and we managed to win in overtime. That is, thanks to Kippy's great steal and a game-winning shot.
It is a lot of fun, you know, when you go and you visit the little clubs and places where these guys and girls have made their little niche, their little piece of comfortable America here on this military base. That's kind of like their social time. And when you go and you be part of that, then you've done it all.
The reason why we're here is not just for the show. It's for a lot of things. It's handshake tours, coming in and greeting the guys. The littlest things, like signing a picture. I mean, signing a picture, I've never understood why anybody would want an autograph. But I think it's not a starstruck thing for these people. It's a sense of home.
I hope we have a good effect on the men and women here. You know, I hope when we leave that they can say, gosh, you know, for a few minutes, I didn't think about all the people that I'm away from. You know, I hope that they can say, I felt really warm inside, and I felt like, yes, this is Christmas. Even though I'm in Keflavik, Iceland, or I'm in Thule, Greenland, this is Christmas, and I feel peace on earth.
Thank you. For children everywhere, this is Santa Claus and Lee Greenwood and the USO Tour in the North Atlantic.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Say Merry Christmas, kids.
There's just one.
Thank you. Boy, this is getting great.
These people are so excited that we're here, and we're excited to do it. These cookies just represent a little love. And I heard that there was 1,000 dozen that was cooked for this evening. They're going to the right place.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Laughing daughters and smiling sons, your best friends and your special ones. We're always there, wherever you go. The USO is always home. Life is good and it's sometimes hard, across the world or in your backyard. For those who serve, you're not alone. The USO is always home. Wherever you go, the USO is always home. Sing it to me, brother. Wherever you go, the USO is always home. You gave it all with all your heart, and freedom's call sounds worlds apart. We stand with you beneath the red, white, and blue. You're the reason and you're the one. Laughing daughters and smiling sons. We're always there, wherever you go. The USO is always home. You're not alone. The USO always home. America's sons and you're not alone. The USO is always home. For America's sons and daughters, the USO is always home. Oh yeah, wherever you go, the USO is always home.
One of us has become part of an American family here. We're all Americans existing under the same condition. The USO is extremely good. They were really terrific in letting us feel like we were home. And that's what we try to do for the guys that are here too. They try to be home even when they're not. It's still dark. It should be already daytime, but we're going to take off anyway. Continuing on a tour to remember, Bentwaters, England. Bentwaters, England was one of our most strategic air bases during World War II. It's still easy to imagine the crippled planes landing on the runway, returning from a bombing mission somewhere.
Tell you what, folks, here's George, to pump it up for you with the rap of the century.
All you guys at the nut and the whip and the top of the rock, eat your heart out.
Yeah!
My name is George and I wear a wig. You might see my face on a dollar bill, Dick. I crossed the Delaware with a military hat, and I'm the first one to do the presidential rap. I'm Big Bad George.
Yeah!
I got an axe to grind.
Yeah!
I'm Big Bad George. Yeah. Axe to grind.
I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this
Once again, our show was well received by everyone. Military audiences are the best anywhere in the world. Next stop, Dunoon, Scotland. Flying over Scotland was like watching a movie. Everywhere we looked, there were green rolling hills, stone walls, castles and sheep. Everything you've ever imagined about that great country. Although we had just missed the world-renowned annual bagpipe competition, we enjoyed our stay in Dunoon. The shopping was great, and we toured a submarine. One little glitch, though. We lost the basketball game.
Excuse me, John.
Yes, sir. Pardon me. I need a pen out of my luggage. It's the one on the bottom, the little black case, okay?
A little pen, will this one work?
No, it's a special pen. It has to be. It's in my case. You have to get it out.
We're going to get it out of here, so it'll be another 3 hours or so till we're done here.
Scotland was the last leg of our North Atlantic tour. It was a great feeling to have been able to spend Christmas time with our servicemen and women so far from home. But by now, home was calling out to all of us, and all the catching up we were going to do with our families and friends once we returned home. Our final stop on a tour to remember, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. The memory of the freezing temperatures of the North Atlantic tour helped to make the climate of Cuba even more inviting. The tropical setting and friendliness of everyone made it hard to realize that the leader of the last stronghold of communism was nearby, just on the other side of the cactus curtain. That's a strip of no man's land that divides freedom from oppression.
We're at Post 21, right next to the border. It takes us off American territory here at Gitmo, Guantanamo Bay. And this is an interesting place. It's real high. Kind of got a commanding view of everything around us, but it's really peaceful and very solid. It kind of sets the tone for exactly what we're doing down here with a tour to remember, and that is just kind of remembering what this is, what it was, and what it probably will turn out to be in the future. Hopefully a nice free place, because it's sure beautiful.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Pledge of Allegiance to the flag is a pledge to the ideals of our forefathers, the men who fought and died in the building of this great nation. It's a pledge to fulfill our duties and obligations as citizens of the United States and to uphold the principles of our Constitution. And last but not least, it's a pledge to maintain the four great freedoms cherished by all Americans: freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom from want, and freedom from fear.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
are in Tent City, Harvest Eagle. They have a multi-service contingent here, representing all the services. Hi, let me say hi to you. I'm Lee Greenwood.
Hi.
Y'all get the show last night or not? Did you? All right, cool.
Good show. I appreciate it.
Nice to see you again. Well, thanks.
Thank you.
Is today your birthday?
Yes.
Well, happy birthday to you. All right.
Hell of a way to spend it.
Yeah. Well, you know, I've never thought about going out of the way to celebrate a birthday. I take it in stride always because we're out on the road most of the time during special holidays.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Boy, we know what this is. And what is that? No, pass on that. Mashed potatoes? Yes, please. A little gravy in there? Thanks. Nice to see you. Kind of hot work, isn't it? Are those Greenwood beets? I'm not sure if they... No, I'm just kidding. Are they really? Like, then I get cake to go with it, huh? We have just went through the famous mess line. And it looks pretty good, to tell you the truth. There's some beets underneath there. They say kind of spicy. I'll have to try them. How you doing this morning?
How you doing, sir?
Good to see you, man.
Greenwood.
Lee Greenwood. Hi, nice to see you.
Yeah, see.
Morning. How are y'all doing, guys? Thanks. Thank you very much. Hi, guys.
And speaking of Cuba, I don't know if you followed the Olympics or not. I mean, we were watching the Olympics, and we were great hopefuls of some of our Olympic stars. But do you know that why Cuba was not chosen for the Olympics here this year? Is because all the guys who can run, jump, and swim are already in the United States.
How y'all doing, man? Nice to see you. You're welcome.
My mother and father.
And their names are?
Joe and Mary Henry. We're glad that you would stop by and see us. And on behalf of the Chief Petty Officer to the Guam Life position of this department.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, because of the proud history of the Guam and those who serve on it, I accept this gratefully. That's why we came out here to just kind of share a little bit of what we do with you and let you know that you and the men that serve with you and the captain here are very important to us, and that's why we come out and entertain. Thank you. This may be an example of exactly why we're here, because these guys sometimes come without their dependents. I don't know if they're here or not, but I'm sure pretty family.
Not here, and they weren't in Saudi with me either.
Well, maybe get them home soon.
I hope so.
We're proud of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Enjoyed your show.
Thank you. We won't be forgetting Gitmo too soon. Guantanamo Bay is a beautiful place. We hope someday that it'll have freedom all throughout this great country, and the people on the other side of the cactus curtain get to realize all the wonderful things we have to enjoy too in America and all the places we call home, just like here at the naval base at Guantanamo Bay. This has certainly been a great tour to remember.
An American, where at least I know I'm free.
Boy, that really brings back a lot of pleasant memories. When we travel as much as we do, people often ask us why we're so willing to participate on USO tours in between our concert dates. Well, that answer should be obvious now that you've seen A Tour to Remember. The USO is a non-profit organization, and I might add that the entertainers, bands, and support crews are only given a nominal daily per diem from the USO in this noble cause of entertaining the most formidable fighting machine the world has ever known, our United States military. As I said earlier, from a very early age, each USO tour has become a milepost in my life, and each one has given me much more than was ever asked of me. The best example I can think of is that the beautiful Miss Tennessee, Kimberly Payne, you saw on the North Atlantic tour in the film, is now my wife. We hope you've enjoyed watching A Tour to Remember. We look forward to an ongoing relationship with the USO, and perhaps soon we'll be bringing you highlights from tours yet to come. Until then, this is Lee Greenwood, asking you to support the USO whenever you can, whether it's my tour or someone else's. Both entertainer and audience can always agree, every USO tour is a tour to remember.